Bitcoin emergency update. We've just had a pattern reversal signal that tells us that Bitcoin is likely to continue to the downside as we've been anticipating for the last few weeks. So in today's content, we're really going to see what's likely to occur next based on momentum, pattern, price, and some time analysis. So let's dive straight into Bitcoin. So I did a video, my last video on Bitcoin was actually on the 15th of August, and it was an emergency update. It said we're likely to be towards the end of a trend, and we're going to see a new low, likely to see a new low. And the reason we said that was there was a couple of factors, but one of the main one was that this is an overlapping wave structure, and we're in a position of a momentum top, and we're probably going to see this. So this is what we said, this movement to the downside. And if the price goes below this line over here, we want to be really on high alert, because that would indicate a sign of weakness that we're going to see further downside movement. So with Bitcoin, as of today and this morning, and we can see it right now, here we go. This was the top that we were anticipating over here. And as of this morning, we haven't closed below the line, but we've broken the line with some confidence. So if it closes below here, that is a really strong pattern reversal signal that indicates that this top is likely to hold and that this bottom down here has a good probability of being exceeded. So I want to show you something now, really on a macro viewpoint. So we're on a daily chart right now where every bar represents one day. We're going to pop out of this chart. I have a 4 chart set up, and in the top left-hand corner is my weekly chart. And I just want to recap on the macro wave count. So I use something called Elliott waves. The market tends to move in 5s and 3s. And what we're seeing over here, what looks like to be a pretty clean, a big, since November last year, an ABC correction. And most markets finish in an ABC correction before a continuation to the uptrend. And this wave C, more often than not, will typically, and we've drawn it out here, will typically break down into 5 waves. And we can see this nice 1, 2, potential wave 3. This looks like a wave 4, and then one more leg to the downside. Another thing that supports that thesis, that thinking, is the very fact. By the way, there's thousands of momentum indicators. My favorite by far, because it's the most clearest, simplest, and gives us valuable information, is the Stochastics Rsi. It's basically the blue and the red line at the bottom. You'll see when the last time the blue line on the weekly chart went below the red, it coincided with this high over here, and it was sideways to down for quite a few weeks. And now we've had the next one. So what should we anticipate? Well, we've got the first bar down here. We should anticipate that this is likely to be a top, and we're going to have sideways to down. Maybe not as big as this sideways to down, but at least to this region over here, there's a particular selling pattern. By the way, if you would like access to my analysis, this exact chart, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to zoom out because this is really, really powerful information. This is the thesis or the thinking on Bitcoin and the Stochastics Rsi settings. You can now actually get my chart for free. It's in the description link below. You get the view only mode, so you'll see all 4 charts, and then you can upload them into your own trading view. You not only get Bitcoin, you can have some of the others as well, just to help you with your own analysis, because everything is difficult before it's easy. So this should just give you a head start in terms of doing your analysis. Now, another thing I wanted to touch upon was, how do we trade this? Because what we did the other day, I have something called the R15 Crypto Gym, and what we said in the Crypto Gym, I think I got it. Have I got it down here? I might have it down here. Yeah, I got it here. I want to show you this over here. This was a workout that I did. We do daily workouts. I think it was here. Yeah, daily workout. We do daily workouts. It's 2 to 4 minutes on Bitcoin, and it's up-to-date analysis. So this was a couple of days ago. And what we said, I'm just going to fast forward it to this point over here, is that it looks like we have this ABC correction. And let me just go back a bit. This is what I want to show you. So this is on a 60-minute chart. And what we were saying the other day, let me make sure I pause it. Come on. All right, let's go to the next one. There we go. This is the next one. All right, we do a daily workout every day. Let me make sure I got the right one. I just want to go to this point here. All right, I'm just going to fast forward it to this part. I want to show you. It'll be worth the wait. Trust me. All right, here we go. This part here. So what we said with Bitcoin the other day was we had this initial move down that was quite impulsive. That's an indication that the trend has reversed. We had what looked like to be a nice ABC correction in a time and price zone. and we should expect to get a continuation to the downside, right? And we anticipated that 2-3 days ago, and then it's all about shorting. You know, do you go on a 1 bar low, on an overlap, on a swing low, but you can have an entry strategy to the downside. And there's a couple of other factors, but you can now get access to my crypto gym for as little as £1. That's right, we're doing a special offer at the moment. £1, you get to experience everything for 30 days, daily workouts. We do Bitcoin, Solana, and BNB at the moment. And there's a lot of other goodies, a lot of other trainings and everything else. That's also in the description link below. So anything else with Bitcoin? Well, it's looking quite aggressive. I'm going to show you one more thing. So what most people don't realize, because Elliott wave is one of the best ways of reading the markets, and if you can understand the basics and the fundamentals. And there's normally 2 or 3 degrees of wave counts. And I'm gonna show you this. We've got this initial move down with Bitcoin, right? And that's what you refer to as a 1 or an A, right? But it looks quite impulsive to the downside. So we're going to lean to the side of a wave 1. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. We've got this correction. This is what we identified in advance, right? And that looks like a 2 or a B. But we're going to lean on a wave 2. Why? Because this part of the market is quite impulsive, which will insinuate that we've got a new trend to the downside. Then the next part of the wave count is a wave 3. However, a wave 3 typically breaks down to 5 waves in itself. And a wave 3 of wave 3 is the most impulsive wave more often than not. We're talking about extreme movements to the downside. So what we had with Bitcoin was another move to the downside. And what we call this, when we're looking at this, is a wave 1 of, I'm writing with my mouse over here, of wave 3, right? This is a bit advanced, but in my R15 Crypto Gym, I got a lot of training that goes over the basics, but I'm just going to keep it high level for a second and go into some of the detail at the same time, high level and detail. Then we've had this movement to the upside. This looks like a wave 2 of wave 3. So remember what I said? The most impulsive wave tends to be a wave 3 of wave 3. That's the one that you ideally want to be trading. So either on a swing low over here or this swing low over here. If it breaks, then the market tends to be quite aggressive to the downside. And we just had this amazing impulsive move to the downside. And what we're looking at is a potential wave 3 of wave 3. Okay, that's a bit advanced, but this happens time and time again. So then that will be a completion of a wave 3. So I'm just going to change the color over here. I wasn't planning on going into this much detail, but we will now that we're on it. So now it's a wave 1. What looks like an ABC of a wave 2. And it looks like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to break down of a wave 3 into this zone down here. It's not complete yet. So we're looking for a wave 1 of wave 3, a wave 2 of wave 3, a wave 3 of wave 3. Then we will tend to get a wave 4 of a wave 3 and then a final wave 5 of a wave 3 to complete a wave 3. Whew, that was a mouthful. I know. But it's kind of leads in nicely with my quote. I got a quote from my book. And by the way, you can actually now download my book. I'm giving away so much value right now. It's insane. It's insane. You can actually download my book for free. Really around mindset. It's the extraordinary new venture capital opportunity, how to invest like a pro. And in chapter 5, I start every chapter with a quote. And this is one of my favorites, right? And we're going to go over it. It's Leonardo da Vinci. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So when I'm looking at these markets, and why I bring that to your attention is there's my alarm going off. There you go, got a random alarm. All right, when we're looking at the markets, what I'm looking for is momentum, first of all. Momentum is like a big clue on what side of the trend or what the trend is. And I'm going to give this, I'm going to go over this. I'm going to do it a bit snappy. Weekly momentum on Bitcoin is now officially pointing down, right? Blue below the red. So that tells us we should ideally only be looking for short trades, right? So that's momentum on a higher time frame. Then I'm going to go to a daily chart. Now the daily momentum from a few days ago when it was up here, we made a bearish reversal. So then we got 2 momentum time frames, a weekly and a daily, pointing down. So remember, the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. Well, this just gives us a good indication that the overall trend that we should be looking to ride is down, right? So that's 2 pieces of information. We're keeping it simple, right? Blue line below the red. That gives us valuable information. And then what we're going to go on to is pattern, right? Is the market impulsive or is it corrective? Like, what does that mean? All right, well, this is going to make perfect sense to you, and you'll see why. Over here, the market is clearly impulsive. It's like it's aggressive without overlapping waves. Whereas here, let me draw it like this. The market is clearly overlapping, which is a sign of a correction. Normally, when you see a correction, at the end of a correction, you'll normally get a continuation of the former trend. So this is what we've been anticipating. So that's two pieces of information. So we're keeping it simple, right? So we've got momentum, pattern. Then there's something called price analysis. I'm going to keep it really simple today because you can get into quite a lot of detail with price analysis. It's basically these lines over here. These are key price ratios that tell us that we're likely to be at a local top. And these are vertical lines, horizontal lines, and vertical lines are time analysis. And it tells us we are due for a reversal. So now we've got momentum, pattern, price, and time. That's the 4-part methodology. And that's it. When they coincide and we got a confluence of events, you now have the edge. So you're now the casino. So the probability is in your favor to then take the trades in the direction of the trend. So momentum, pattern, price, and time. Very, very cool. And that's all I do. Keep it really, really simple for all markets, all time frames. And in the Crypto Gym, that's what we do in our daily workouts. We go into detail with momentum, pattern, price, and time. Sometimes all 4 are clear. Sometimes it's 3 out of the 4 that are clear. And if it's a good enough edge, then we trade the edge consistently without hesitation or reservation in a fearless, confident manner, but without being reckless. In other words, we always use a stop loss. Even when the setup's looking perfect, momentum, pattern, price, and time, we still only risk 2%. And that leads me on to the quote of the day, chapter 2. We're going to finish on chapter 2. Here we go, chapter 2. Let me find the quote. Here we go. This one is from Warren Buffett. And it's all about the edge, right? All about the edge. Understand money is the name of the chapter, but Warren's quote is, rule number 1, never lose money. And rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Now, taking a loss in trading is all part of the business of doing trading. It's like having a restaurant. You have to pay for food. When you're doing trading, you have to take a loss. Not that we take losses deliberately, but it's the cost of doing business. However, we can minimize losses by having acceptable capital exposure. So it's a predefined risk, right? We know we're only risking 2% to find out if we're right. And if we're right, we make a 10x risk reward. And if we're wrong, we either make a small profit, break even, or take a small loss. And then we manage our trade in a particular fashion as well. So remember, the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. Currently, the trend is down on Bitcoin. Weekly momentum is down. If we can remove our biases, because if you're holding a lot of altcoins, well, clearly you want Bitcoin to rise. I also want Bitcoin to rise because it rises all boats. It's like all tides rise all boats kind of thing. But we have to look at the factual information on the price action, the selling behavior right now. And it looks like for the next few weeks, the bears are going to be in control, and we're going to likely finish off this major correction that's been going on since November last year. So there you have it. Simplicity being the ultimate sophistication. So keep it simple and don't get too caught up in the emotions of the FOMO, fear of missing out, and the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's one of the challenges with crypto. The news is insane. So guess what I do? Just ignore the news.